Welcome, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to the audio pod. In this episode, we'll be discussing what's been happening. Just wanted to fill you guys in on the different things that have been going on. This week, I started on Saturday. We are now doing a 30-day meditation. Every day there will be a new meditation that's going to be released. So please do check that out on whatever platform you choose to listen to that. I'll be also working on extracting the audio from that. So if you don't want to watch the video, you just want to play it in the car or wherever you are, I'll be extracting just the portion of the guided meditation. The video is comprised of usually two different things. One is the technique, where I explain what technique that we will be using, and there'll be 30 different techniques in the next 30 days. And then I'll guide you into that instructive practice that can add to a little bit more calm, to add to more clarity, to give you a little bit more peace. And oftentimes in our life, we deal with people who disrupt our well-being, who disrupt our way of living, who can disrupt the way in which we think about our life. And those disruptors are nothing more than an energy that you already have within yourself. They disrupt you because that energy that they're disrupting is an energy that you have already in yourself, that you have not accepted or dealt with yet. So if somebody's coming to you and is extremely angry all the time, and you end up becoming just as angry, as in your reaction is just as angry, what will happen? You're going to walk away more drained, and you'll walk away feeling like, why did I react in that way? Why did I respond to this person in the same way in which they responded to me? Now, your ego on one end, this dialogue that you have within yourself, that other self, as I like to say, is constantly telling you that you have to respond because it was a violation. You have to respond in the anger, otherwise the other person won't understand. You have to respond in anger because the other person will never learn their lesson. You are constantly trying to prove your worth to another person so they can understand you. Most of the fights that we have in our life is so there's an understanding. Growing up, when I was going to the clubs early on, people would step on my shoes or I would accidentally bump into somebody and we would check each other. It's mainly an East Coast thing, but living in DC, it was, hey, where the fuck you going? Watch your step. Okay, if I responded in a way that was, why don't you get the fuck out of the way? It would have been as though I'm ready for war, I'm ready for action. I'm ready now to give you an understanding that no matter where I walk, if I hit you or if I bump into you, I'm ready to deal with the repercussions and respond to you in your same tone. But luckily, my ego was never that big at those times. Now, my friends, we've got thrown out of many venues on multiple occasions. But when we respond and we can realize that something in us exists in the other person, it can dispel that emotion, that charge that is dormant. You could go 1 month or 2 months completely fine, not dealing with any issues, feeling like life is on cloud nine, work is going good, your husband, girlfriend, boyfriend relationship in between is feeling nice, money's coming in, your body, you're hitting the gym, and then all of a sudden you get cut off in traffic. All of a sudden that train that you take to work is delayed. All of a sudden it starts to rain outside because there's a hurricane. Then what? What happens? Are you going to get angry? Are you going to get frustrated again all of a sudden? Are you going to start overeating and indulging again because you need something to pacify the emotions of the fact that, man, it's raining outside, I have to stay inside and I can't go anywhere? Just like how many of my friends during COVID, they gained weight. It was because they were not able to go out and really express themselves. Anyways, I tell you that to simply help you understand that in our body, there are dormant emotions that are there. And no matter who comes, or rather who we come in contact with, it does not matter. It don't matter at all. It should not matter who it is, what it is, because the moment that they come, we should respond with neutrality. The reason I teach meditation is to move you from a point of emotional volatility to emotional neutrality. Now, I'm not saying don't get excited, but if you get so excited to the point that you're ecstatic all the time or you have so much euphoria, guess what happens after that? A drop. Have any of you went to a music festival and taken ecstasy or Molly? Or rather that pink cocaine that they accused Diddy for taking, 2C, and you come back home and the next day you feel like shit? Why? It is because these substances or the chemicals in our body is creating such an emotion that we are almost out of our mind. In other words, like we're stimulating different brain waves that we should not be because of a substance. And to explain that, when you are in meditation, you move into theta. Theta state is between 3 and 8 hertz. And then when we go up a little bit more, when we start to feel relaxation, visualization, creativity, we go into an alpha state between 8 and 12 hertz. And then when you have this intense alertness, you're in beta. And then after beta, you're into gamma, where the consciousness, you're at a peak focus, so much insight. That's what psychedelics and these drugs do to you. They create that. So you're jumping from, let's say, a normal state of theta or delta. And then you're going to jump to such a peak all of a sudden? Come on. Let's be real with ourselves here, people. Let's figure out the way that we can get naturally high by getting high on our own supply, by recognizing that right in between the third eye is this portal that can take us to another level of life, whereby which the high is not so fabricated. The high is not stimulated from an outside force. It is what we bring up within ourselves. In yoga terms, they say the kundalini is rising, or kundalini energy is rising, like my people in California. And my goal now with 30-day meditation that I've been releasing is to help people find the technique that can take them and elevate them to those gamma wave states. I want to bring you up there. And then you come back down, you're a little bit more, and this is an overused word, but it's the word called grounded. Now, grounded to me simply means neutral. I'm neutral in situations, whatever comes my way. I will remain neutral. I will respond with neutrality unless I'm checked. Bhagavad Gita also talks about how Krishna had to create this emotion in Arjuna so he could fight his uncle. And the reason he had to bring it up, he said, I don't want to fight my uncle. I want him to be my uncle. I respect him. But Krishna said, no, he's doing wrong in your life. Your uncle is not the one for you. He should not be creating this war. He is disrupting. Arjuna said, okay. Through Krishna's guidance, he comes, he's ready, and then he brings out an energy of him as a warrior because he's standing for something. He's against injustice. He is against somebody taking over an empire. He is against that. And you have to stand for what you believe in, but don't stand for what you believe in with an ego. And what I mean by an ego is don't stand for something that you believe in that is going to cause you to react to so many people, or that's going to cause you to react in an instance whereby which you could just respond with respect, whereby which you could just respond with a little bit of intellect, whereby which you could just diffuse the situation, correct the situation and instance with a little bit of care, with a little bit of finesse. That, my friends, is called progress. And in our life, my goal is to always progress. In other words, evolve. And in other words, solve all that has been disrupting me. And I hope through the meditation you find and solve all that has been disrupting you. And through that, you will know who you are. And that may be a question that some of you cannot answer. And some of you in this lifetime may not be able to answer who I am. And some of you may not even care to question who you are. But if you can explore, if you have a little bit of doubt, the key, self-doubt, the key to self-exploration is the doubt. If you have just an inkling of it, you will explore. You cannot ignore what is calling you. You cannot ignore your true self. You cannot ignore opening and expanding your heart. You cannot constrict and close off your voice, your throat chakra. You cannot close it off. You have to let it out. As I am here letting it out to you through this audio, through this pod, hoping that through our conversations, through our transmissions with one another, through the way we tune in, we get excited to go along the path. And what is that path? That path is the one that you choose, not that I choose for you or that somebody chooses for me. It's the path that you choose. I'm not here to tell you to find somebody who's going to show you how to love, because nobody can show you how to love. I'm not here to tell you to find abundance. I'm not here to tell you how to find money. I'm not here for you to learn how to just visualize. I'm not here to tell you that you should change your consciousness. I'm here to simply awaken you to explore what is lying dormant. That's it. And if meditation is a technique that can get you there, all praise. If meditation does not help you get there, then my goal is to give you lessons for your life's progression. It's rich intentions.